Hi guys, welcome back from the ad break. So we are now on our last segment of the show. Here we are going to look at a few questions that have to do with rationalizing, living in simplest set form, and also just looking at some sets in terms of questions, the fractions that involve some sets, and try to solve those just so that we can put everything in practical. Because remember, it's really no point for us to talk about all this theory and not apply it anywhere. But for now, let's just have a look at this together. So, remember the question will then be simplify the following, and the statement that they will give you will be leave your answer in simplest set form. What does that mean? It means you can't leave your answer as square root of 8. No, that's not the correct thing to do. So firstly here, I will leave this as square root of 2 because I can't do anything there, plus the square root of 4 multiplied by 2, and then this will be equals to square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 2. I get the 2 from, remember, this is going to be the same as square root of 4 multiplied by square root of 2, right? And then square root of 4, you know that the answer is always 2. And 1 square root of 2 plus 2 square roots of 2 will give me 3 square roots of 2, and that will be my final answer there. And then the same thing that we need to do here is to factorize. To do that, or rather simplify, to do that, I will change this into being the square root of 25 multiplied by the square root of 2, and then plus the square root of 2 divided by the square root of 9 multiplied by the square root of 2. And this will be equals to, remember, square root of 25 is going to be 5 root 2 plus the square root of 2 divided by the square root of 9 is 3, then square root of 2, and if I want to simplify this, it's going to be 6 square root of 2 over 3 square root of 2, which will then be equals to the 6 and the 3 will divide and give me 2, and then the 2 and the 2 will divide and give me 1, and my answer will just be 2. Now, this one is quite an interesting one, right? So it's a perfect square, you can see, because of the squared, minus a perfect square because of the squared there, right? So I can always just try this firstly by saying it's going to be square root of 11 minus square root of 7, right, into square root of 11 plus square root of 7, right? But this is just for enrichment, by the way. You don't need to do this, right? I'm just showing you where it came from. And if you multiply this, it will then take you back to that. But now let's answer the question according to what you've been looking at. Remember that square root and squared normally cancel each other. So it means I will just have 11 minus this one here will then be 7, and my answer will therefore give me 11 minus 7 will then be 4, right? But even if you use this FOIL method, now that I'm busy doing this, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking it can actually give me the answer, but let me show you what do I mean. So this can be square root of 11 multiplied by square root of 11 will just be 11, and square root of 11 multiplied by square root of 7 will be plus the square root of 7 multiplied by 11, and then the other one will be minus the square root of 7 multiplied by 11, and then square root of 7 multiplied by square root of 7 will be negative 7. Then the middle terms, you can see they're just going to cancel out, which takes us back to 11 minus 7, which gives me the very same answer as what I have there. So that's just some interesting things just to think about of how do you then solve these questions. Here, you need to rationalize this. So they will say simplify the following. Maybe you will find that this is your final answer. But because I told you that you can't leave your answer as you said, you will then need to multiply this by 1 in the form of the denominator. So square root of 2 over square root of 2, which will then be equals to 5 square root of 2 divided by square root of 2 times square root of 2 is the same as square root of 4, which will finally be 5 square root of 2 over 2, right? And that will be the final answer there. I don't need to do anything extra to that. And then another type of question that has to do with this, you need to rationalize the denominator as well. So we multiply by 3 plus the square root of 5 over 3 plus the square root of 5. So this is a special type of rationalizing because of the denominator here. Now, someone might ask, why are we using plus instead of the minus? If you use the minus, then it means you will still have a radical on the denominator. You will still have a set, right? So I can't do that. The plus is so that I can have a difference of 2 squares. And if I have a difference of 2 squares, this is a perfect square, that's a perfect square, then it gives me no roots on the denominator. But if I use a minus, then it takes it back to having another square root, which I will have to get rid of some other way as well, which will then be a long process. So that's why I'm using a plus here. So this will be equals to 4 multiplied by 3 will give me 12, plus 4 multiplied by that will be 4 square root of 5. All of this divided by, this will be 3 squared minus the square root of 5 all squared. Remember I said it's going to be a difference of 2 squares. So at the top here you can't really do anything. That's going to be 12 plus 4 root of 5, and then at the bottom here it's going to be 9 minus 5, right? So it's going to be 9 minus 5, and then your final answer will therefore be equals to the 12 plus square root of 5, but I need my 4 before there. So this is going to be 4 square root of 5 divided by 4. And then 4 is divisible in 12. 3 times 4 is divisible there, plus square root of 5. And that will be my final answer there. Now, our last question now for today will be a very interesting one, but it's not really a difficult question to do. So what you need to look at here will then be, firstly, you get rid of the set, right? That's the main thing that I need to do. So this will be 5 to the exponent of 4x minus 2. All of this raised to 1 over 2. Then multiplied by, I must change this to a base of 5, which is 5 cubed into x plus 1. And all of this is going to be divided by 5 to the exponent of x multiplied by, this is going to be 5 squared in brackets, and inside here it will be 6x plus 3, and then I will then need to include another bracket because of the cube root, which is 1 over 3, right? And then to simplify this, I'm just going to do it on the next slide. This is going to give me 5 to the exponent of 2x minus 1 multiplied by 5 to the exponent of 3x plus 3 all over 5 to the exponent of x multiplied by 5 to the exponent of 12x plus 6, and then this is multiplied by 1 over 3. Remember that. Then lastly, it will be 5 to the exponent of 2x minus 1. I'm just going to apply the laws at the top, which is plus 3x plus 3 all over 5 to the exponent of x. Now, if I multiply this with the 12x, it gives me plus 4x. And if I multiply this with the 6, it will then give me plus 2. And then this will therefore be equals to 5 to the exponent of 5x minus 1 plus 3 will be plus 2, and then divided by 5 to the exponent of 5x plus 2, which is simply just 1. And then that's where the beauty of mathematics comes in. Now, just to summarize everything that we've looked at, guys, is remember your laws of exponents. You really need to make sure you master them, especially for rational exponents and also for your sets, because I promise you, sets can really be a problem at times if you don't really pay close attention to them. And then also always practice simplifying expressions and leaving your answers in simplest set form. So I showed you one example of a simplest set form. For example, if I have my answer as square root of 18, I can't just leave it like that. I need to simplify this and say it's square root of 9 multiplied by 2, which will give me 3 square root of 2. You see, if it's square root of 8 as the answer, I can't leave it like that as well. It will be square root of 4 multiplied by 2, only if it can be simplified. 2 square root of 2, and that will be the answer there. So you need to make sure that you do follow your laws, your definitions, and then look at also when you're applying your laws, please pay close attention to signs, because the main thing that makes you get this incorrect is the concept of signs. And also when you're removing the brackets, right, after converting and you are multiplying, don't only multiply the exponent with the first term and leave the next term, right? What do I mean by this? If maybe I have, let me just write it down for you. 5 to the exponent of 2 and then x minus 1. Always multiply it with both of them, because some people, they just say this is 5 2x minus 1. This is incorrect. Why? Because the 2 must be distributed to both of them. So even that one must also be a 2. Guys, I hope you've been enjoying this lesson as much as I have been. Remember, the Maths Doctor is here. If you did not understand anything, go back to everything that I said, and I promise you, you will definitely do understand all that we've done. If you still need enrichment, consult your textbooks, look at everything that has some information in mathematics, and I promise you, it will save you some good at the end of the day. Guys, from me, the Maths Doctor, mathematics is food for the soul. Until next time.